Regis, can we start with the two injuries, Enzo and Dan? Do we have a time scale on their returns?
Probably a little bit less for Enzo, probably around 4 to 6 weeks, and probably 6 to 8 for Ballard.
So quite a significant blow
Yeah.
to you. Any other, I don't want to sort of heap bad news on bad news, but is everyone else okay for tomorrow night?
Yeah, they're okay.
And in terms of bodies coming back, Tommy Watson, you've seen his training. Abdullahi, what's the situation with that?
For Tommy, so he was in the session this morning with a full session, so it's positive for next week. He won't be available for the game, but after that it will be okay. And for Ahmed, still struggling with his previous injury, so it's not really solved. It's not a bad issue at the minute, but he's not available.
Quickly, can I ask about Jefferson Bennett as well? There's been some talk about him leaving and possibly joining a Ukrainian Premier League club. Is that the situation for him?
Yes, but I don't know exactly if it's done or not at the minute. Yeah, the
premise
connection
is-
exists. Yeah,
The premise is he's not going to get football here,
No.
and he needs football.
yeah.
You touched on it after the game against Hull. We talked about fatigue and players looking tired. Do you think it's time that the team does need a refresh, and to some extent that'll happen because the two injuries that you've got? You said the other week when you were talking about Chris Rigg that his stats, his data are very good on the training ground. But sometimes it's a case of what the data tells you is different to what you're seeing with the human eye. Do you take that into account?
Yeah, sure, because I think our main analysis is always focused on the football output rather than the data, physical output and so on, something like that. And yeah, probably it's the stage of the season is important, and we did well so far. So we have to remind that the team and the squad are in the good place, but at the same time we can struggle just for that period. It's possible, and we were good at Leeds, for example. I think it wasn't our best performance against Hull, but at the same time it wasn't a disaster as well. So we could have won this game, but sometimes you can make mistakes and you can be punished. And next game we can make the same mistake, but we won't be punished. But it was the case against Hull. So at the same time we need to yeah, it's important to manage the squad, to finish with good momentum, positive momentum, this league. And we had many injuries, we had sometimes suspensions as well, so it wasn't often possible. But now I think we will have this opportunity, and we need the full squad. So we'll see tomorrow.
Because if fatigue is an element of the performance against Hull, you've got 4 games before the international break. You've also got Job, who's on 9 yellow cards, Trey Hughes on 8 yellow cards. It's very much a case over the next month of, just less than a month, of managing that squad.
Yeah, and we are ready for that, I think, because now, for example, Brownie is available, Tommy will be available, Romain is available, so we have new players who got important injuries and now will be fresh to play again. And it's just, I think, for a long championship like that, the 35th, the 36th, and so on, stage of rounds of the league are tough for everyone. So it's like the wall for a marathon. So it's that stage, and we have to manage that stage properly. We know that it's normal to have fatigue in that circumstances, but at the same time, it creates the condition to manage the squad first of all, but also to involve the players in their recovery process, in their ambition, and sometimes even if you are tired, you have to sustain the level. maybe in a different way. Maybe you have to be a little bit smarter on the pitch. Maybe we can change a little bit our way of managing the game sometimes. So it's a new condition, but at the same time it's useful for our ambition.
And Anthony Patterson came in for a fair amount of criticism following the game at the weekend. Have you spoken to him and how he is? Because I think it's the sort of thing that plays on a player's mind, a mistake like that.
Yeah, it was really good this season. It was really good. So when a striker or a goalkeeper make mistakes like that, it's the consequences are always different. But Anthony was a very good goalkeeper for the team so far, and still a good goalkeeper. So he can make mistakes for sure, but at the same time, he has to learn from these experiences and to find the best way to finish the season.
You mentioned last week Jayden Danns, and you've spoken to him a couple of times. Has there been any further dialogue with Liverpool as to his availability or the possibility of him?
Nothing else for the moment. No.
On another note, positive note, Luke O'Nien, 300th appearance tomorrow night. What does Luke bring to your squad, to your team? Because I know he's the player that you really like to have in the starting 11.
Energy. First of all, I think if we have to define Luke, I think it's a good word. And he wants to learn, even after 300 appearances with the club, he still wants to learn. So I think his role model is very important for that, and he's always connected with the team. So his behavior, I think, is really positive for our young squad, and the way you want to improve every day, the way you want to be connected with the others, the way you want to be positive, even in sometimes it's tough. So it's a good example.
Is his drive and ambition something that's very important around the younger players in the squad?
Yeah, he's connected with the ambition as well, but he's not the only one. I think the squad is still really engaged in the process, because we know that a league is always tough. You will have good periods, you will have low periods, and the main point is the consistency. You can't be too emotional, positive or negative, because life is like that. And if you want to play at the best level, you will face many troubles, and probably it's not a crisis. It's just two lost games. So we lost only 6 games this season, so it's not massive. So when it happens, really it's new. So it's a little bit different, but at the same time, we know that we have to trust our game model, we have to trust our squad, the way we are learning, and to find the good energy to finish the season.
Is it important, you just used that word crisis, is it important to emphasise this isn't a crisis? I mean, the Leeds game, to put that into perspective and context, I mean, they are top of the table and they're a Premier League team in all but name, and it's one game you've lost at Hull for whatever reasons. It's not a crisis, as you say. You're not on
I agree.
run of league defeats.
Yeah, I agree, because I think we are really good against Leeds, the first half especially. They pushed during the second half, and probably we found our limits, our current limits, and it was really useful to learn, because a young team needs to face different challenges, and especially the tougher one, because you can assess what it's needed to learn, to develop, and when you are dominant, you can't find these limits. So it was really useful. And after, it's because every teams in that league are able to play a good football, to use 2 or 3 counter-attacks or set pieces to score. It's always possible, and football is like that, and we have to manage this situation. Yeah.
And Hillsborough, one of the great English grounds, was probably under the lights, even better atmosphere. Game I'm sure you're looking forward to, but the Sheffield Wednesday team biting not only from losing 4-0 to Burnley, but losing 4-0 to you earlier in the season.
Yeah. They were good at Burnley, and I don't know if they deserve to lose 4-0. I'm not sure. They are dynamic. They are a good team, really, really dynamic with the ability to fast attack, for example, and they have weaknesses. We have weaknesses, and it should be a good game and a good challenge again.
Just a question on Luke. I think those of us in this room who've sort of seen him from when he joined the club to now, when he joined, I don't think any of us would have said that we'd see him as a centre-back, 300 appearances into his career at Sunderland. But now he seems very important to the team, very connected to the playing model that he wants to use, and very important with the way that you build your attacks. What does that say about a player like that who has evolved throughout his career?
Yeah, it's a good example of the learning process, I think, because I think he started as a forward or number 10 at Sunderland, and then after that, new different positions, probably a little bit in the middle, after that on the right side, and now as a centre back. So as a footballer, he's mobile, and we like intensity, mobility, and the ability to move in different situations very quickly, and is connected with the game. And if you understand the game and you are connected with your teammates to find the opportunities, to use the opportunities, to get the advantages, and to solve problems in real time, I think experiences after experiences you can learn very quickly, and I think it's a good example for that.
At the start of the season, you really have to concentrate on the way that you want to play and how you're doing it. At this point of the season, you have to do that, you have to look at the league table, and you have to think about where the players are tired and like Ibra. How much harder is the job when you hit this point of the season?
It's a different stage, I think, because now we have the culture is better, so it's getting better and better. So we don't have to create the foundations now because we can trust the culture of the squad, and at the same time we have new challenges. So we can learn from every stages, I think, and probably for the game model now we added new layers with I think the level we reached as a team, but at the same time the new challenges we have to solve now, because for example at home the second half we had 70% for the possession, so it was a low block, mid block, low block, and the way we build the game or the way we want to unbalance the opponent block now should be different, and we had to find new solutions. And we talked about this, for example, for the crosses. We had 34 crosses against Hull. How we can be a little bit better in that part of the pitch. It's a new challenge, I think, now. And for our progressing and finishing phase, I think sometimes we are a little bit too predictable. We are good on the sides and the flanks, but at the same time, if we are too predictable, it's easier to defend against us. So it's new challenges and new opportunities to learn.
Sheffield Wednesday at home must feel like a very long time ago after this long season. Are there still good memories from that you could use to take into this game?
Yeah, it was I think the second game, the first game at home, and so I think it's quite the same atmosphere, I think, because it's still the same coach, same players, and the same style of play. But we will have, I think, two dynamic teams with ambition. It's not, I think, two teams who will wait for the mistakes, but they should be proactive. So I think it will be an interesting game. Yeah.
Does it feel strange to have had a couple of defeats? You've had very few defeats this season. Is it hard to remain positive, although you're still in a great position in the league?
Yeah, I think so, because we had a period with 5 draws, I think, and 1 defeat. It was we were at Sheffield United, so it was a long period. It wasn't 2 defeats, but maybe it's better to lose 2 or 3 games in a row and then win again, rather than making 5 draws in a row. So I think the players now are not comfortable with the defeat, because we can't say that, but we can manage the situation. and it's not too emotional. We want to react. We want to win points. We want to be proactive again, and we know that in a league like that, you have to face different situations, and this is one of the non-comfortable situation, but at the same time, it's like that. Football is like that.
And Romain and Tommy fit enough to start, or on the bench now?
Yes, for Romain, but we have to wait one game more for Tommy. Yeah.
Thank you.
So just after the loss against Hull, which was clearly disappointing from every angle, do you as head coach expect a response in training in the days after? Have you had one?
Yeah, it was the case. It was the case because when you lose, sometimes emotion can drive different solutions or ideas about not always yourself, but maybe the referee, maybe the opponent, maybe we were unlucky, maybe it was a mistake or an error from someone else. I think the atmosphere just after the game, after the defeat, was, I think, really positive. Not positive because we enjoyed the defeat, but we managed the situation very properly, and it was a mature reaction after the game. And the 3 sessions this week were good, really intense, and the output wasn't always perfect, but at least the behaviors, the commitment, the connection with the session purposes were very positive. So I think we worked well. Now the most important thing is the way we will play tomorrow, and at least the behaviors of the team was really positive this week. Yeah.
And when there is frustration and fatigue has been mentioned, is it important to remind people that this team is very young and they have done so well this season and they are mature beyond their years?
Yes, but at the same time, if we have this ambition to be in that bracket of the league, we can't complain and just say we are tired, so we can't play well. We will be tired because if we want to play at that level, we'll have many games. So is it in Premier League? Is it in top club in Europe? I don't know. If you want to play at that level, we'll have many games to play. So we have to learn and to experience this dynamic. And sometimes you have to manage differently the situation, and so it's a new experience. But at the same time, we have to be connected with our ambition.
You mentioned the Premier League then on the games, and there was a bit of a hypothetical question because you don't know what league you'll be in next season at this stage. But is there a plan for the summer ball, or do you know what you want depending on where you end up?
No, it's too early. We are really focused. So we have 2 timelines. The timeline for the club project. I think Christian and Stuart and I'm involved in these meetings, but my main focus at the minute is really the league and the next game. Yeah.
Just fine. Does this game feel important? The next big sort of like what was like underlines. And yes, it's not a crisis, but does it feel important because of what you want to achieve?
It's always important. Always important, and every point has to be chased because it's tough. It's really tough, and it's not just you come on the pitch and you will win. You have to work well. You have to solve problems. You have to face with different situations.